What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at two more of the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Revenge of the Sith 20th Anniversary Walmart exclusive figures. So today we've got Aayla Secura and a MagnaGuard. Both of these look really cool. Of course, we've already had both these figures. The MagnaGuard at least does have some different design where he's got more of this blue color design, which I really like that. And then, of course, Aayla we've already had before. We'll have to compare to see if they've upgraded anything with her. I know she does come with the extra little flare lightsaber piece, whatever, where it's kind of like the swipe to or whatever. Don't know if her first figure came with that or not, but we have already had her before, so we'll have to compare that. But of course, I love these figures just because they're recreating the Revenge of the Sith box design, which is when I mostly started collecting Star Wars figures. So I bought a bunch of figures in these boxes, so it's very sentimental to me seeing them in these. So really cool about those. So I'm excited to open these and check them out. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start with Aayla Secura, which is a Force-sensitive female Rudian Twi'lek that was a Jedi Master and served as a Jedi General for the Republic during the Clone Wars, commanding the 327th Star Corps led by Clone Commander Bly, and was executed during Order 66 by the 327th on Felucia. So she looks good here. Of course, we've had her before. There's probably almost no difference. Maybe some coloring would be about the extent of it, but otherwise it's just pretty much a re-release, so nothing too surprising or kind of pointless to get this. It was mostly for the packaging, which I then opened up, so again makes it kind of pointless. But then she does come with one extra accessory piece, so I guess that could kind of make it worth it. But it looks good overall. So she has her blue Twi'lek skin, so she has the head, tails, or Leku hanging down the back there, of course, with the headdress piece there, all in the brown leather with her ear designs out of the side, all blue skin. So we get the face there, which looks pretty good with the reddish pink lipstick and everything. But that leather, like I said, wrapping down her tails, and then her leather outfit design. So they're mostly just all in the brown. Now I think there's supposed to be some color variation, like over here it's supposed to be lighter brown designs and stuff, but they just have it all in this solid same brown color there. So for her top piece going into the sleeve down her arm, then we get her exposed midsection, blue arm on the one side as well. Then we go down to her pants. So she has more of these pants, almost got a little bit of red thrown into them, let's say a really dark maroon or burgundy or something, with the brown belt and cloth and pieces hanging down with leather and stuff there hanging down around her waist as well, all the way to the brown boots there on her feet, where she has a little bit of the heel design on it and stuff. So it looks good overall, but like I said, unfortunately, it is just pretty much a complete reuse and remake or re-release, whatever you want to call it, of the last version of Aayla Secura. So like I said, it's not kind of pointless to really buy her again, but I guess if you want that extra accessory piece. But movement-wise, her head will twist around. Of course, the tails will be in the way, but can still twist all the way around there. And she can look down that far and up that far, so not a whole lot of range, unfortunately, just a little back and forth. The shoulders will come up to 90 and rotate around. Single elbow joint that bends to 90 with rotation, and wrist twist all the way around and has the hinge up and down ham. Then we get the ab crunch under her chest, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around down to the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements overall for what she's got, especially with our Star Wars figures, so nothing really to complain about. But accessory wise, she does come with her blue lightsaber, so it looks pretty nice. Of course, we can take the blade out and just have the hilt there and attach it onto her belt, so you just attach that right in there. But we can put this into her hand, of course, and you can get her to try and double hand the lightsaber just like that. And then, as I mentioned, she does come with the extra accessory piece, which is just the extra blade piece that we've seen with some other characters before. So she comes with that as well, with the blue lightsaber, and then so it's a slashing effect to it that we can easily switch out with the lightsaber. So that is the only real difference between the two, is that effect. So of course, when she's holding it like this, doesn't really work too well unless you get more of that slashing effect sort of design there. So you get that as well. So that's really the only difference with them. Like I said, maybe some color design. Now we can check it out. So bring in the older version here and check out some of the color design. It looks like, yeah, maybe the browns are a little bit different. It looks like maybe it was lighter on this older one compared to this, but the blues look relatively the same. Maybe the blue is lighter on the older one as well. It's a little bit more darker blue. I like the blue more on this newer one, but like I said, yeah, everything else, it's going to be pretty much complete reuse of the body and everything. No real changes to that or anything else. Like I said, just comes with that, mostly that extra lightsaber piece is really the only difference between the two. So I guess if you want that, you can get it, or if you want to keep it in package, obviously you could keep it for that, which was my original plan. But then from the first wave, a bunch of the boxes were all damaged, so I decided just to open them up. So don't have them anymore, so I've just been opening these figures. So like I said, kind of pointless really to buy this, but still it's just always nice just to have an Aayla and get that extra lightsaber piece. And then we also have the MagnaGuards, which are IG-100 MagnaGuards, bodyguard-style battle droids that accompany General Grievous, Count Dooku, and other high-ranking separatists during the Clone Wars. They are worthy competitors to Jedi, capable of fighting with loss of limbs, even their head, and using electro staffs that can counter lightsabers. So it's pretty cool to get another MagnaDroid. Of course, it's kind of unfortunate because they didn't change anything about the body, so it's still the bad body for these figures, but they did at least change some stuff with the colors, so it's got more of this metallic blue design, which I do really like. And then they changed up some of the design on the capes and stuff. It's got more of like these green stripes now, or green arrow designs and stuff, instead of just the brown. So that is pretty nice. They did change it up some, at least color design, so it is just nice to have a different version in the collection now. But it's still, like I said, unfortunately the same bad body, so I already have some issues, like especially when you do the movements, the pauldron keeps falling off. So the one under here, I cannot get this down. I keep putting on and it just keeps falling off. So I have it laying over here to the side. So that's one issue. I don't know why they made it that way. But then we get the head design that has like the red eyes in there, which look pretty nice. With this piece, it's nice that they did plastic here around the head, and then, you know, not all the fabric design and stuff, but with the blue design looks pretty cool. Of course, underneath there we get more of the blue. There you can see the missing pauldrons. Live like the red piece here right in the center, of course, seems like a target that easily hit like with a lightsaber or something to try and like destroy the body. And we get the hand designs, of course, more with the blue, and the legs, like I said, which are always kind of weird. They always get all bent up and stuff and make it hard to stand. So not the best figure. Again, like the droids, I wish they would just rework some of the droids, because some of them, like I said, the super battle droids and the droidicas are really cool, but every other droid seems to have a lot of issues. But moon-wise, we'll get that'll twist all the way around. Of course, should be able to twist. It's kind of messing with the cloak there, so unfortunately get that all messed up. It'll twist around there, look down that far and up that far, so just a little back and forth. Then we go to the shoulders, that will come up to 90. It has a little bit of a butterfly with it, and then rotate all the way around as well. Then we get some like twists and stuff. So we get this one, be like the elbow that can twist, so bend up that far, and there is twist in it as well, so you can pretty much twist all the way around. It just kind of always weird the way it's shaped and designed and stuff, so I always have issues with that. There is also some twisting right where it switches from the blue into like this design. It does twist around there as well, so you can get the arm adjusted however you want it. So like usually when I have there, I twist it to the side here to have the hand facing forward, which then the hand itself will twist all the way around and rock back and forth. Then we kind of get a little bit of an ab crunch, so just kind of a little crunching back and forth here, but not too much, and we'll twist all the way around. Get the hips that come up, and of course can bend all the way up there, back and forth each direction, move in and out a little as well. I thought there'd be a thigh twist or something, that feels pretty stiff in there, but the knee joint, that'll bend up that far to the back and bend forward a little back and forth, and should have, yeah, just a little bit of a rotation in it as well. Down to the foot, that'll rock back and forth and twist side to side. So like I said, movement wise, it's pretty decent. Like, it's not horrible, it's just the joints are really flimsy and movable, and like I said, especially if you put in storage and get it back out, it's almost impossible to get these to stand a lot of times. But accessory wise, they come with electro staff, so we had different versions. I can never figure out like what the difference is maybe like these are more from like the Clone Wars designs, and then the other one's more from like the movie designs. But we get this version of the staff that's just got more of these like, oh, I always call them like spear tips and stuff. That's what it reminds me of at each end. So we had that version, as well as this one that, like I said, kind of reminds more of like the movie designs. I've seen pictures of them using both like through different medias and stuff, so not really sure which one really matters stuff. But I love how we get like the clear designs on each of the ends there. And then we also get electricity, which is cool. Just a lot of times they don't really stick on too well, and so it falls off quite a bit, unfortunately. So we can sort of stick these electricity pieces on the ends as well to give the staff. So then we put this into his hand, and as I've shown in the past, it's kind of weird with the hands, especially the way they're designed. You got to kind of like get it like sort of fed through here. So I always go with one side and sort of feed it in between the middle fingers and then back around to the outer finger and sort of get it in his hand like that. Of course, you can have him standing in guard position or try and put into his hands like he's fighting with it. So yeah, definitely not the easiest, especially trying to get it posed up. I don't think I've ever tried to do it in the two hands before, just because it's been so difficult, and yeah, not the easiest. And of course I can't get the electricity to stay on it either, so a lot of issues just going all around with this figure. And of course we've had the past one, so here's the normal one, so you can see the change up between the colors and everything with them. So like I said, I do like this new one a lot, especially with the blue color and stuff. Just makes it a variation and stuff. Just like I said, I just wish the overall droid design was a little better to make this figure so much cooler. And there we have our Aayla Secura and MagnaGuard from the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary figures. Like I said, both are really cool. Unfortunately with Aayla, like I said, it's not necessary unless you just want her for that additional lightsaber piece. But the MagnaGuard is at least a different color, so you could have it as a different version of a MagnaGuard in your collection if you want. So at least there is some variation going on there. But both are pretty cool. I was going to say cool. Ayla's definitely cool. I like her design, everything overall. Nothing wrong with that. MagnaGuard, like I said, like the look, and especially the blue. Just wish the figure itself. It's so annoying how they made it like that and haven't like went went back and changed anything to make it better designed overall, but still decent figures and happy to have them in my collection. So let me know what you thought of these two down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.